Welcome to the presentation based on the research called Semantic Analysis Methods Usage for the Implementation of Systems of Graphic Objects Content Analysis, prepared by Oleksandr Tymchenko, Orest Khamula, and Bohdana Havrysh. Contents are as follows: Introduction, Purpose of Work, Related Works, Semantic Analysis Implementation Principles for Searching by the Content of Graphics, Structure of the Dictionary, Experimental Study of the Semantic Dictionary Development Methods based on Graphics, Semantic Dictionary, Presentation of the Alphabet, Determination of the Semantic Significance of the Element, Conclusions, and Discussion. The article considers approaches of information technology creation for searching graphic data by the content of graphic objects based on their semantic analysis. First of all, it is important to note that the term semantics is used in various works in different aspects that determine its meaning. In the theory of information, which investigates general scientific methodological problems of the development of science, information and semantics are often viewed as closely related concepts. To implement semantic analysis, the concept of a semantic unit is introduced, which is compared with elements of information determined by them and serves as a hypothetical unit of information measures. Such concept replacement makes it possible to confirm to a certain extent the correctness of the known ratios that were built to describe the technical processes under study. At the same time, there was a need to carry out quantitative assessment of parameters for their description. The most popular example is the technical process associated with the transmission of digital data through communication channels. In order to calculate the numerical values of information amount, appropriate expressions were discussed. The proposed ratios allowed a non-controversial interpretation and gained the greatest popularity thanks to the works of K. Shannon. Thus, the concepts of semantics and information are related and closely interconnected. The purpose of the work is to develop and research the principles of semantic analysis implementation and the use of its capabilities in the organization of search processes based on the content of graphic objects. Let's dive into the most common methods used for analyzing the content of images. Frequency spatial display of a graphic object, image histograms. The task of automatic analysis can be framed as finding a specific function that maps a set of images into a set, elements of which are image classes. The process of determining such functions should systematically proceed through the following three stages: preliminary processing, identification of signs, classification. The image analysis, there are mainly difficulties associated with pre-processing and selection of features. When addressing these analysis tasks, two groups of tasks can be distinguished. The first one is when the information is encapsulated in the integral properties of the entire image. Such tasks are solved by analyzing the statistical properties of a set of objects that is combined simultaneously in the field of vision. This analysis occurs without isolating the local properties of individual elements. To efficiently compress the information in such images, it is crucial to utilize histograms displaying the distribution of parameters most pertinent to image decomposition. The second group is the recognition of individual objects, according to the given geometric parameters, and their selection against the background of objects collection, tag counting, which is another method of images abbreviated description. The fundamental elements of any semantic analysis include availability of interpretation system, rules for the interpretation system usage, homomorphism between the rules for using the interpretation system and the rules for building and presenting the objects to be interpreted, semantic consistency of the description system, and presentation of the graphic objects interpretation system. The essential parts of the interpretation system are the following components: semantic dictionary of the graphic object system, semantic environment, a system of environment rules which is formally recorded in the form. For the full operation of the system, it is necessary to investigate the possibility of creating a system for evaluating the search engine quality based on the use of semantic analyzers. In this case, the task of creating and researching search result evaluation models for a certain system arises. To create them, you can use the following approaches that make it possible to solve the problem of determining the search evaluation in graphic objects at the semantic level. View of the analysis of the reduction degree in the effectiveness of the system's functioning. System load measures. The strategic significance of the object and the search result. The structure of the dictionary can be formally represented in the form of some hierarchical tree, which can be analytically represented as follows. To build an image model and its semantic description, it is necessary to use the alphabet of conventional designations to describe graphic primitives. To do this, it is necessary to highlight their main types that can be used in the image, while the advantage of their use is that the image model built on their basis is flexible, does not depend on scaling and positioning. In addition, such a model does not depend on the color of their primitive execution, unless special conditions are specified. Let's consider the proposed model of presentation of a conditional alphabet or graphic primitives. First, let's build a dictionary of graphic primitives. For this, it is necessary to solve the problem of which graphic primitives to choose for the dictionary. Since the array of graphic data contains more graphic objects processed or created with the help of automated graphic systems, it is necessary to add those primitives used by graphic systems to the dictionary. Since the most popular graphic systems are Adobe Photoshop, Zara Designer, CorelDRAW, and 3ds Max soft file complexes, the main graphic primitives used by these graphic systems were selected for the dictionary. Graphical primitives describing open contours. Line, an open contour connected by line segment, and curve, an open contour that does not correspond to a straight line in any way. Graphical primitives describing closed contours. Circle, triangle, quadrangle, and polygon. Having selected graphic primitives as elements, each of them, depending on their shape, can be assigned a value and get their semantic description. For example, after expanding to include color, fill, and line color attributes, the dictionary description would have the following form. The slide shows determination of the semantic significance of the element. Beginning, grouping of graphic primitives and their counting, determination of graphic primitives per semantic significance, recalculation of graphic primitives by number and groups, the ranking, determination of graphic primitives significance, and graphical objects in their essence are most fully characterized by words of natural language, therefore it is advisable to describe them based on methods of formal grammars and semantic features. To determine the semantic significance of graphic objects and their fragments, it is necessary to build a semantic dictionary from the subject area, which would include the main features of graphic objects, their attributes, and hierarchy. In the subject area of the attributes of graphic objects, their completeness, semantic significance, and consistency should be determined, which will reduce the search time and improve its quality. The rules for forming a set of dictionary elements are based on the rules defined by the content and on the rules of semantic admissibility. The rules of semantic admissibility are the result of the interpretation accepted in the subject area. In the case of subject area of interpretation, which are artificial and created by man, such prerequisites are quite few, and one or another semantic significance in many cases is based on generally accepted and accepted agreements. The suggested inference rules for the semantic analysis of graphic objects utilize formal grammars to ensure the semantic dictionary's consistency and completeness. Thank you for your attention.